Hello everybody, welcome back to the channel. Make sure to like, comment, and subscribe for more content like this. This video is going to be about, My Hero Academia and why I like the show. I'm going to talk about some flaws too, but honestly, I think this is probably the best gateway anime in a very long time. Because, with the boom, it's not really the boom anymore, but the Marvel movies were coming out around the time this was out, so heroes were on everyone's mind. It got me back into anime, which is why I love it so much. But I do think it has some flaws, and I want to get those out of the way first. So I think the writer has 20 characters. He has so many characters he's trying to juggle, and he keeps trying to make all of them relevant when, in my opinion, most of them don't matter. Most of the ones in class 1A, I'd say there's about 8 characters that actually matter in that class. The rest of them are fodder trash. The guy who speaks to animals, he's terrible. Manetta's not good. As much as I think he's... Well, no, I'm not going to say that. But there's... I guess it's probably 10 people in the class. So half of them are fodder garbage. The guy with the tail, he's trash. But anyways... I think that's one of the flaws. I think the community, when they're shipping, anyone who looks at anyone, that's fucking awful. But that's not really, the author's fault. I mean, kind of is. Kind of isn't. But, it's just... reason... It has other flaws, too. I think where we are in the anime is perfect. But, the, training arcs are kind of boring. Let's be real. They're kind of boring. And... most of the heroes in the show kind of seem like fodder trash, too. There's, a couple heroes that are strong, but, these kids are doing more than them. Anyways, let's get into stuff I like about the show, because I don't want to be negative this whole time. I really like the sub-main characters. They're so good, in my opinion. I think Deku has some of the greatest character development I've ever seen. Him, Shigaraki. Shigaraki has amazing character. He used to be such a whiny little bitch. I can't destroy everything. Bro, he used to piss me off. And now I really, really like him. Endeavor. I think Endeavor went through a great character arc. I liked his character. It was interesting. I think he's the most interesting. And he's my favorite character in the show. I think that Uraraka wanting to be a hero for money and her family makes sense. Not everyone's gonna have, just moral reasons for wanting to be heroes. They want to be heroes, but then I think she had her mind changed. I think she actually wants to be a hero to save people as well. But I think the money thing is the number one goal of hers. And, I mean, that's a perfectly valid reason to want to be a hero. It's probably the most profitable business you could go into in the My Hero verse. Now, is it the most dangerous? Probably. And then you got, Bakugo, who's, working his ass off to be number one. And, that is his goal, is to be number one. He wants to become better than... he's very much a lot like Endeavor. And I find that fascinating. That, he thinks he can actually do it. And, I bet you Endeavor at that point thought I guess him and All Might are they around the same age? But, Endeavor wants to be number one. And then, the villain... I think the villains really, really are incredibly interesting. I thought Twice in his storyline was incredibly interesting. And, obviously it was based off Deadpool and stuff. But, man, everything about Twice was interesting. And I know what happens to him, so Anyways, and then Toga, I think she's probably my favorite villain. I find her fascinating, how she's, obsessed with these people, and then she's obsessed with, heroes being heroes, and she was obsessed with Stain, and I think her ability is really cool, and I like her. She's a psychopathic bitch, and, I think that's good for a villain. I think villains should be psychopathic bitches. But, her, lust for, Izuku, I think is funny. I don't know, I like her a lot. I think Dabi is incredibly interesting. I won't spoil anything about him, but I don't know. You can't go wrong with, elemental powers. Those characters are always interesting for the most part. And they're always cool. Anyways, the villain arc was probably my favorite arc that currently right now I'm reading the manga, so I'm not caught up. I'm only on like volume 7, and I'm watched all the way up to season 6. I think I'm like halfway through season 6. Man, it is so good. So good. All Might's a very interesting guy. I usually don't like the guy that's overpowered, which is crazy because Deku is probably my favorite character for a very long time. I really like Deku. Most people don't. It doesn't really make sense to me. I think Kirishima is one of the most interesting, class 1, because he has self-doubt. Because, his quirk is kind of boring. I mean, it is, but, like, also it isn't. Like, the stuff he's done with his quirk is incredibly impressive. How he goes beyond plus ultra. Yeah, so I thought that was interesting. And then, his fight with that Steel guy is cool. How they have a little rivalry and stuff. Fat Gum was interesting. Like, how he went super Chad mode when he loses all his fat. That's cool. I like the 3, like, senior people. I forgot his name, but the dude who smiles and can go through stuff, I love him. It's gonna bother me that I don't remember his name. And I like the dynamic of the 3 of them. I think that's interesting. You got the hero that can turn into like a dragon. How's she not more popular? That's a fucking powerful ass villain. I think in Tenya, I think one of the things I wish would have happened. I really wish Tenya would have died at the Stain arc. Because if he would have stayed relevant and stayed like one of the main like cast, I would have been fine with him living. But what happened was this. Tenya died, the whole Stain stuff that happened, Tenya took a backseat. And then Shoto, Bakugo, Uraraka, Momo, Kirishima, all like took centerfold and pushed Tenya back, which I still like Tenya. Would have been sad if Tenya would have died, yeah, but like I just thought that would have been way more interesting for like the class, because it would have put so much more stakes into the story. And like, you're fighting these guys with like ill intent, and like they want to kill you. Like that's their whole like philosophy on life, is that they want to kill you because they want to do damage, they want to hurt people, and Stain wanted to kill him. And yes, it would have been maybe difficult for like, Shoto and Bakugo, because Shoto and Izuku to save. Like they couldn't save him, so that probably would have crushed him. But like, he went out with ill intent. He was trying to hurt Stain because of what Stain did to his brother. And I don't know, I thought that would have been a more interesting twist on it, but hopefully he does more, because he's just kind of like, he seems like a robot, and I feel like that's his like gag or whatever. But I really enjoy this series, and I really love the hero aspect of it. And I think the character design is really cool, and like the quirk that he gives a bunch of these people is interesting, to say the least. And I can see why it has the hype that it has behind it, because My Hero always has a massive following. Do I think the following is toxic? Yes, but like, it's just like Todoroki is a perfect example of like a cool character. I think he's cool. He's funny too. Like him and Bakugo together, a perfect duo. Bakugo with anyone works. Like, let's be real. And it's just Aizawa is really cool too. Like how he's basic. He has a quirk, and his quirk is really overpowered. But like, he basically fights without a quirk. He uses a scarf, he does use his quirk, and his quirk helps limit the guys. Anyways, that's gonna do it for this video, and I'll see you guys in the next one. Peace.